Welcome back to the deep dive. We're heading out again, looking for those fascinating stories hidden just beneath the surface.
And today we've got a name that, well, it's almost guaranteed to make you think of somewhere else entirely, Matsue.
Yeah, I bet most of you listening immediately pictured, the famous castle town in Shimane Prefecture, National Treasure Castle, beautiful canals.
Exactly. That's the Matsue everyone knows. But that's precisely why we're here today, to sort of challenge that immediate association.
Because we're not going way out west.
Nope.
We're diving into Matsue right here in Tokyo, Edogawa Ward to be specific.
A much quieter namesake, definitely no grand castle. But its history, it's surprisingly complex, full of these weird administrative twists, some cool tech firsts, and some really heavy wartime stories.
So our mission really is to uncover this Matsue, the Tokyo one, show you that it has its own hidden gems, its own important narratives, even if they're not as famous.
Absolutely. Proving that fascinating history isn't always about the big landmarks. Sometimes it's baked into the streets themselves.
Okay, let's get into it then. First things first. How on earth did this place in Tokyo get the same name? Seems like it was, well, kind of put together.
That's exactly it. It wasn't an ancient name that evolved over time. It was created. A synthetic name born out of administrative changes back in 1889, Meiji 22.
The Meiji government organizing everything. Makes sense.
Right. They were implementing the new town and village system, consolidating smaller places. So Matsue Town was formed by merging parts of, Komatsugawa Village and Nishikino Village.
Oh, I see. They literally took syllables. Komatsugawa and Nishikino.
Matsue.
Yep.
Mashed together.
Yeah.
It probably meant something like Pine River Mouth, roughly. But the name itself was purely modern, purely practical for the new administration.
Okay, that explains the name origin. But then there's this amazing historical what-if moment, right? This brand new town almost became way bigger.
Oh, it was incredibly close. Fast forward to 1932, Showa 7. Tokyo City is expanding, absorbing surrounding counties like South Katsushika. They needed a name for the new ward being formed out there.
And Matsue was on the table for the whole ward.
It was a serious contender. The main reason was location. The brand new Matsue Town Hall, which had just been built, was the designated spot for the new ward office.
Wow, so the administrative center was already in Matsue Town.
Exactly. It was the logical choice in that sense. Can you imagine? We'd be talking about Matsue Ward today, not Edogawa Ward.
It totally changes your mental map of East Tokyo, but obviously that didn't happen.
No. In the end, they went with Edogawa, probably because the river name was, more prominent, more geographically significant for the whole area. So Matsue Town got absorbed, and the name was kind of demoted back to just being a district name.
It's a moment of potential citywide fame. Gone.
And this is the hidden gem part. The physical trace is still there, if you want to see where this almost word capital was meant to be.
Where do you go?
You head to the Matsue Citizens Plaza and Matsue Library. It's at Matsue 2110. That building stands on the exact site of the former Matsue Town Hall.
Ah, so you can literally stand where history almost happened on a much bigger scale. That's a great starting point.
Definitely. It anchors that whole story.
Okay, let's shift gears from politics to, well, movement. Because Matsue's identity was also really shaped by transport, wasn't it? Yeah. Both old and surprisingly new.
Yeah, it was a real crossroads. Going way back to the Edo period, you had two major routes cutting through here. First, the Utoku Road, also known as the Imai Kaido.
And that was a big deal.
Oh, huge. It was the main route for pilgrims heading to the Narita-sen Temple. Massive foot traffic. And crucially, it was used to haul salt all the way up to Edo Castle. Essential supplies.
You can kind of picture it. And the road itself reflected that importance.
Yeah, the records mention it was pretty wide for the time, about 3.2 meters. That suggests they needed space for, lots of people, carts, goods. It wasn't just some little path.
Okay, so that's the ancient highway. Then the 20th century arrives and things speed up considerably.
Dramatically. In 1925, Taisho 14, the Jodo Electric Railway opened its Edogawa line. It ran between Higashi Arakawa and Imai, putting Matsue firmly on the map as a hub. It connected this sort of semi-rural area to the growing city grid.
Right. The train arrives. But then comes something even more, unusual for Tokyo back then, the trolley bus.
Yes. This is where it gets really interesting technologically. When the Jodo Railway eventually closed, Matsue didn't just lose its connection. It became a key stop on Tokyo's very first trolley bus route.
The first one in all of Tokyo.
Very first. Started in 1952. This line ran all the way from Imai through Matsue right up to Ueno Park. It was state-of-the-art public transport for its time, running until 1968.
That's incredible. This relatively small district was the testing ground, or at least an early adopter, for this new electric transit, only to eventually lose all its rail and trolley bus lines later on.
It's a fascinating cycle, isn't it? Innovation, then retraction. But we can actually connect those different eras of transport, the ancient road and the modern wires, through another hidden gem.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
The Kawarado Stone Road Marker. It dates back to 1862, right in the late Edo period.
And you can still see it.
You can. It's preserved inside the Matsue Library, the same place we talked about earlier, the site of the old town hall.
Ah, bringing it all together.
Exactly. The inscription reads, "From here to Kawarado." It's a literal signpost from the past, pointing towards the riverbank route, preserved right next to the memory of the Almost Ward office and the trolley bus stop.
Wow. Connecting the Salt Road, the near-miss Ward capital, and the trolley bus wires all in one spot. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move into some of the maybe deeper layers. Legends, faith, but also tragedy.
Right. We should talk about Zenyoji Temple over in East Komatsugawa. It's a place really rich with local folklore, stories that kind of define the area's spirit.
I was intrigued by the story of the starfall pine. That sounds cosmic.
It really does. The legend says a shooting star literally landed on this specific pine tree. And where it hit, it left behind this sacred object, a star essence relic.
Sure.
That's the story. The original tree is gone now, but they planted a second-generation pine on the spot, and it's still there today, carrying that legend. People go to see it.
A pine tree touched by a star.
Yeah.
And that was another one, the divine stone.
The Yoga no Ishi, yeah. This one's more of a moral tale, I suppose. It involves Fudomiyu, the fierce guardian deity.
Right.
The story goes that a thief tried to steal some sacred items from the temple, but Fudomiyu intervened, and the thief literally got stuck to this stone. Couldn't move.
Stuck to the stone.
Yep. Trapped by divine power until he, presumably repented or was scared off. It's one of those stories that embeds faith right into the physical landscape.
These local legends add such a unique texture. But we also have to address a much darker chapter.
Yeah.
The war. Matsue was hit hard, wasn't it?
Devastated. Particularly during the Great Tokyo Air Raid on March 10th, 1945, the firebombing just incinerated huge areas. The Edogawa Ward office itself burned down. Most of Komatsugawa and the neighboring Hirai area, too, just gone.
An unimaginable destruction. Which makes the story of survival there even more incredible. Specifically, the survival of important documents.
Yes, this is quite a story. There was this administrative document storage building built back in 1924, and crucially, it was made of concrete blocks.
Ah, so it had a chance against the fire.
A much better chance than wood, certainly. It survived the inferno, remarkably. But the documents inside were still at risk from the heat, the chaos.
And this is where some local heroes step in.
Exactly. Two officials, we don't even have their names in these sources, but their actions were vital. They focused on saving the kosekibo,
The family registers.
the absolute core records, your legal identity, your family lineage, proof of existence, basically. Losing those would have been catastrophic for the community, erasing their official history.
So what do? In the middle of an air raid.
It's amazing. They gathered up these crucial registers, bundled them into hemp bags, presumably whatever they could find, and rushed them to nearby waterways. They submerged them to keep them safe from the fire.
Wow, risking their lives to save paper records because they knew how fundamentally important they were.
Precisely. And because of what they did, those original family registers did survive. Edogawa Ward still maintains them today. It preserved the continuity of the community's legal identity through the absolute worst.
That's incredibly moving. And the building itself,
Yeah.
the one that survived.
It's still there. You can find the actual concrete block document storage building in Komatsugawa Sakura Park. It just stands there, this silent reminder of the bombing, but also of that incredible act of preservation and resilience. A real hidden gem of wartime history.
Definitely. Okay, shifting focus one last time, let's talk about culture and community identity. And back to that brief moment of Matsutown pride before it vanished administratively. You mentioned a forgotten melody.
Ah, yes, this is fascinating. In 1929, just 3 years before Matsutown was absorbed into Edogawa Ward, the town leadership did something extraordinary.
What was that?
They commissioned two absolute giants of Japanese arts and letters to create a town song for Matsu.
Giants. Like who?
Like the famous poet Hakushu Kitahara and the renowned composer Kosaku Yamada.
Wait, the Hakushu Kitahara and the Kosaku Yamada writing a song for Little Matsutown. That's incredible.
Isn't it? It speaks volumes about their local pride, their ambition. They wanted to cement their identity with this, like, high culture anthem just before they were swallowed up by the bigger city.
It's almost poignant, like a final, beautiful assertion of existence.
Exactly. It's a perfect snapshot of these local communities trying to define themselves culturally right on the cusp of massive urbanization. A grand gesture that sadly got lost when the town itself disappeared from the map as an independent entity.
And that local energy, that pride, it wasn't just in the song, right? The area had a real buzz back then.
Oh, definitely. The Matsue Odori shopping street was the heart of it all. For a long time, it was the place to go in that part of Tokyo.
What was it like?
Apparently, it was bustling. At its peak, it had 4 movie theaters, which was a lot for a local commercial street. They hosted big community events, too, like karaoke contests that even brought in celebrities. I think Tomio Umezawa, the actor, was mentioned as appearing there.
4 cinemas. So what's it like today? Does any of that vibe remain?
Well, interestingly, yes, but in a different way. It's now known as a railwayless district. There's no train station right there.
Ah, and that actually preserved it.
It seems so. Without that direct station access, it kind of avoided the intense redevelopment pressure you see elsewhere in Tokyo. So it still has this really strong Showa-era atmosphere.
Like stepping back in time a bit.
Kind of. It's great for just wandering, soaking up that older Tokyo feel. You've got long-running places like Restaurant Mitsutomi or the Furuyu department store. Remnants of a slower urban pace. A real hidden gem for Showa retro fans.
And one last connection, going right back to the land itself.
Yeah, despite being deep in Tokyo now, there's still a tiny echo of its agricultural past. The area used to be semi-agricultural, lots of fishing too, close to the rivers.
And something survives.
Amazingly, yes. Matsue Daiichi Junior High School keeps up the tradition of lotus cultivation. They maintain renden, lotus fields, which used to be common around there. They even harvest the roots and share them.
Wow, the school keeping a local farming tradition alive. That's fantastic.
It really is. It's a living link to the original landscape.
So looking back at this whole deep dive into Matsuing, it really wasn't about a famous castle, was it? It was about, well, being created by committee, almost becoming a ward capital.
Being a pioneer in transport with that trolley bus, surviving incredible wartime devastation thanks to brave individuals.
And having this burst of intense local pride, commissioning top artists for a town song right before disappearing.
Exactly. Its history is written in those administrative near misses, the transport innovations, the acts of resilience, and that fierce, if short-lived, community spirit. It earned its place not through ancient fame, but through its journey.
It's a great reminder that sometimes the most compelling stories aren't the most obvious ones. They're hidden in the quieter corners, the silent witnesses, like that document building, or the story behind a name.
Absolutely. The layers are there if you look.
So maybe this inspires you listening out there. Next time you're in a big city, maybe look beyond the main attractions. Think about the lines on the map where there are older names, smaller towns that got absorbed. What hidden histories or forgotten melodies might be waiting in your own neighborhood, just waiting to be rediscovered? Something to think about.